Hey guys, today I need to take my inch plant and put it in a bigger pot, and I want to take some pieces of it to start a new plant. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So my inch plant is hanging up behind me on my cool little rack. I'll go grab it. So this is my inch plant, and you can see it's so big for its tiny little pot, and the soil just dries out so quickly because it just needs a bigger pot. So the first step is I'm going to take this guy out of his basket and get my new pot ready. So the first thing I like to do, I always like to use pots that have drainage holes so that way extra water can come out. And then this is a piece of landscaping fabric that I like to put in the bottom to cover the drainage hole. And then I put down rocks so that the roots aren't next to the water in the bottom. And these are just drainage rocks from the hardware store. So I'm just gonna put the landscape fabric in and then pour the rocks just so they're covering the bottom. So then there's lots of really good drainage. So I'm going to start by putting a layer of soil in the bottom. This is just Miracle-Gro potting mix. So I have about halfway full of dirt. Now I'm going to take my plant and kind of squeeze the plastic thing it's in to kind of release it, and then very, very gently grab it by the stems. Just kind of shimmy the plastic part off. And you see all these roots in the bottom? I want to break those up so they're not in the same shape anymore, so they can grow everywhere and they don't stay stuck like this. So I'm just very gently going to try to break them away from each other. I don't want to really break them from the plant, but I just want to kind of break them up so they're not stuck in a circle. So really just be as gentle as I can so I don't damage the plant. Okay, so now it kind of looks like this. So I have a big chunk in the bottom. It's going to go right in the middle, so I'm going to move my soil kind of off to the sides and set that down in there. I don't want it to be down inside the pot. I want it kind of sitting right on top, and right now it's a little too deep, so I'm going to move some soil back into the bottom. There. So it's going to stay right on top, but I have this big gap all around the outside where my pot's bigger, so I'm going to use my potting soil and gently lift up the sides and pour my potting mix all the way around. Oh, I think he's going to be so much happier in this new pot. And you want to kind of push it down in there so it's not, you don't have gaps of air. Make sure there's soil all the way. But you don't need to push too hard because you don't want it to be compacted either. Just nice and gentle. He's got this cute new little leaf coming up. Oh, I love it. So fun fact, although I was always into gardening outside, I could never really keep houseplants alive until I was like 30. So don't feel bad, guys. Houseplants are hard. Oh, we lost a leaf. That's okay. All right. So he's all tucked into his new home. There's soil all around the top. He's gonna be really happy in this pot. But He's got these really long, pretty legs. And I'm gonna cut a few of those to make a new plant. Because a lot of plants, you can just take a piece of the plant, stick it in water, it'll grow roots and start a whole new plant, which is really fun. And I like to play a game called Will It Root, where I just cut off pieces of plant, throw it in water, and see if it roots. So the way to do this is you get your scissors, your nippers, whatever you want, and find a spot on the plant where you want to trim it. And I like to look for maybe like a really long piece that you need to cut anyway. So like this piece is really long over here. And I think I want to give him a trim. So see all these segments between the leaves? I want to cut so there's stem showing close to a leaf. So let's see. He's got I think I'm going to cut this by this leaf right here. So there's this piece of stem I'm going to cut so the stem is closest to the leaf, like that. And then I can take off this bottom leaf and just throw him in a glass of water, put him in a window, and he's gonna grow roots. I might need a taller glass. Let's see. Let's get another one. Let's see. This guy in the front is pretty long. And on this one, he's got 2 little leaves, and he's already got new growth coming from this segment. So I think that's gonna start a whole new branch. So I'm gonna cut above that so that can stay on the plant and grow. So I'm gonna cut above that, take off his bottom leaf, because really the bottom leaves are just gonna rot in the water and grow bacteria, and you don't want that. And put them in like that. There, and you just put this in a window and those are gonna grow roots. It's so cool. And I actually took a couple pieces off this plant 2 weeks ago and put them in water. And now, here they are, and they got roots on them. So these new little guys, I'm gonna put in the little pot so that I still have one of these hanging on my wall. So here's my little pot. Put some soil down in here. He doesn't have any soil on him to start with because they're my little propagated roots. So I'm gonna kind of fill this all the way up. Now to get them down in there, I'm just gonna like dig a hole with my finger so I can stick that rooted stem down into here. So here's my little guy with the roots on him. And I made a little hole with my finger. I'm just gonna stick that all the way down in there so the roots are all the way covered up by the soil. Fill that in and make another one. I can probably actually cut this little stem off the bottom that doesn't have any roots on it, so you can get deeper in the soil. Okay, another little hole. Here we go. And cut that little bottom piece of stem off. Make sure you don't trim your roots off. Those are important. So I picked out this inch plant from the North Carolina Arboretum, specifically because it's the exact color of the inch plant that I fell in love with when I was in Belize. This like really beautiful, rich purple color. Now that I pushed all these little pieces in there, my soil's kind of lower. So I'm just gonna top it off so it's nice and full and all these little pieces are covered. And I'm kind of lifting them up so I can press underneath them and around them. There. And he is ready to go back on my wall in the basket. And I have 2 little roots left, so I'm just going to tuck those in to the couple bald spots I have on top of this plant to make it nice and full. There. So now I have 2 happy new plants.